Well, Redacted looks absolutely amazing. We're super excited to be officially revealing the game today. It's from the minds behind the Callisto Protocol, and it's a frenetic roguelike with a darkly comic twist. Here to tell us more, please welcome the head of Striking Distance Studios, Steve Papoutsis, and creative director, Ben Walker. Guys, welcome to Germany. How are you?
Thank you so much for having us today.
It's great to be here.
Awesome.
This isn't the first time that we've actually seen the trailer. We've seen it where it was under the code name Project Birdseye. Can you tell us a little bit about the secrecy and about Redacted now?
Sure. So when we first started thinking about this project, we started prototyping from the controller out. We were really interested in creating fast, responsive controls that worked for melee and shooting and our energy mechanic. And so as we were developing that, we then talked about the types of games we liked, and we found ourselves playing a lot of roguelikes. What we liked about that particular style of game was the replayability and the experimentation that occurs. So you have strategic and tactical choices. So all of those things kind of came together, and as we were prototyping it, we thought, well, let's see what people think of this. So we released that trailer that you mentioned for Project Birdseye, and that was met with positive reception. So we're here today with you, thank you, to announce the official name of the game, which is Redacted.
No, it's amazing to see it, and I know we're going to be going through a load of gameplay as well for viewers to be able to check out. But it looks amazing.
So good. I mean, you guys mentioned it there. It sounds like you had a lot of fun making the game, and certainly it's a wee bit of a departure from the Callisto Protocol and what players might expect from you guys. But as we look at some of the gameplay, can you tell us a bit more about Redacted, and then what can we expect to look forward to?
Sure, absolutely. So again, it's a roguelike style game, and it's focused in a prison. So one of the things that we thought would be really fun was developing the story around what it would be like when a zombie outbreak occurred in a prison. So not only are there workers at the prison, but there's also inmates. So we thought that was an interesting idea, so we started developing along those lines. And we also included some of those key elements of roguelikes that I mentioned, which are the experiments that we have, which are our upgrades, and the various skills and meta currencies that you can use in-game to really change your play styles as you go through the experience.
You mentioned a load of the prisoners. They're called rivals in the game, aren't they? Can you explain to us what rivals are and how that's going to affect the gameplay?
Absolutely. So the idea, again, with the rivals was, hey, you know, there's other people in this prison, so what would they be doing during this outbreak, right? So we thought it would be interesting if there was a race to one escape pod. So not only are you racing against the rivals, but you're also having to deal with them. So they can do things like have room modifier attacks where they can slow you down or impede your progress, but you can also counter back to them, and you can use your own environmental control attacks and try to slow them down and impede their progress. Not only that, but then you can also square off against them in one-on-one fights. So think of them as like bosses as you go through the experience. And so not only do you have the challenge of the various monsters within this game, but you also have to deal with these rivals who are trying to escape.
Yeah, and you can kind of see their progress along the bottom of the screen on the gameplay, can't you?
Yeah.
And like if they're still standing and what's kind of happening to them.
Absolutely, yeah.
Catch up as well. Nice. I mean, going back a little bit, I understand it's a roguelike, and when I think of that, I think permadeath, but maybe, Ben, you could show us how that's going to be quite a core part of the gameplay in Redacted.
Sure. So this is actually the area where you start when you die and you come back. And on the team, we like to say death is the opportunity to come back stronger.
Nice.
And so, you know, we have our punching bag here. As you can see, these are all our terminals where you buy your permanent upgrades. On the right, we have all of our currencies. The top one is the credits, which is only spendable and remain used inside the game.
Yep.
And then we have our contraband here, which is for our permanent skills. So I can purchase one of these and then equip it on the side. So you actually build your own kind of loadout here, and I can actually buy more slots as I progress as well. So we have about 45 of these across 5 pages, so there's really a lot to dig into here.
Yeah.
That's a lot of different combinations for you to use. What other meta currencies have you got on the right hand? Because we can see them on the right hand side of the screen. What are they, and how do we what do we spend them on?
Yeah, so over here we have the security IDs, which you purchase suits with. And as you can see, we have lots of suits to choose from.
They look so cool. Have you got a favorite one?
This is one of my favorite ones, the pilot suit.
Pilot
so
suit, nice.
I'll purchase it now. And then every suit has an initial buff that it gives you. And then also you can go and increase the upgrades to it as well. And so clearing 30 rooms, I'll get to reload my weapon faster.
Okay, sick.
So there's a lot of progression opportunities as well. So if you find like your own particular playstyle that you really like, you can hone in and focus on that and be like, all right, this is how I want to approach the next round.
Exactly, and your skills and your suit and then your guns all play into how that build works out for you.
So
sick.
what else do we have? What else do we have here?
So we have 5 melee weapons and 8 ranged weapons, and players can mix and match those any way they like. These are some of my favorites, the dual blasters.
That look nice.
Yeah, and then once the player escapes for the first time, they'll be able to unlock the upgrades for the weapons as well. So it keeps going, and you can keep going farther, keep getting stronger.
Yeah, and what else is there in the hub for players to get involved with?
So this is where we can transfer currency and also buy things like the first aid station in between levels, which is very, very important. So here, let me purchase the environment control.
Let's get going.
So as Steve was talking about, this is how you attack rivals remotely. So you purchase the upgrades here.
Yeah, because we saw this happen a couple times in the gameplay that we saw a little bit earlier, didn't we?
Yeah, exactly. And this will slow them down, it'll stop them, it'll do damage. And then once you buy all of them, you get the next tier of it. So you just keep upgrading and upgrading.
Okay, sick. There's on the screen there was something about a combo with the rival attacks. What was that about there?
Yeah, so when you actually do your rival attack, you select the rival, and then you have to you have a limited time to kind of punch in this code.
Sick.
So there's a little bit of a rhythm to it.
Yeah, rhythm game, love that.
Yep.
Okay, sick. That's so cool.
And then the final two we've got are the redaction map and the performance review center. What are those?
Yeah, so the performance review is a summary of your run. So here you can see what experiments you used, how many meta currency elements that you collected, the schematics and the fabrications. So this is a good way to kind of strategize as you go through, see what you did before and see what you might try to do next time. In addition to that, we have the Watcher log, which actually provides a lot of deep statistics for you. It's fun to kind of min-max and see how you did against the various rivals, which experiments you tend to gravitate towards, and you can see that all here. So it's fun to kind of dig into the statistical element of the game.
It's also where I can see people getting so competitive. That's like going like, no, I can get a faster time than you. I can do better with this setup, and see like all that kind of comparison. Like I know, like us at the Xbox On team would do that an absolute ton on stream.
How many Stumbaton skills have you got or something?
Yeah, exactly.
No, and then we've got the redaction map.
Yeah, so this ties into kind of the mystery of our game. So here you're going to find out about the rivals. As you go through the game, you're actually going to find these computer rooms. And when you interact with the computer room, you're going to see these dossiers. And as you go through and unredact the information here, you'll actually be gaining positive buffs for yourself. So you're going to be increasing the damage you do against the enemies. You're going to be creating vulnerabilities for them. And so you'll also be doing all that. And in addition to that, you're going to find out more about the rivals and a little bit of their backstory. So it's a key component to really being able to deal with and handle the rivals.
Oh, that's awesome. What I do know is we've got a lot more gameplay to check out, because it'd be amazing to see all these different like weapons and upgrades in action, so you can talk us through it.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Let's check out some more gameplay. But honestly, one of the things I love so much about games is when there are so many options for you as a player, and that's what Redacted has for you to progress and improve. So Bex, what do you think as well?
I mean, yeah, I'm really enjoying this kind of like secret element to the dossiers and these rivals, and I really like some of these headings that we've got. There's some interesting topics that I'm excited to explore later. Oh, who's this guy?
All right.
Got a little outline here.
Yeah, so this is a mysterious figure that we call Mr. Green.
Mr. Green.
He's a bit of a cleaner, and he's at the prison. We don't know why. Hopefully players are going to find out. But he'll be interacting with you and kind of providing you some insights as you progress through the experience.
Okay.
And so, yeah, I don't want to give away too much,
No.
but Mr. Green is a shadowy figure.
Okay. Seems like we can trust him right now, but given all of the rivals and all of the other people that you've told us about so far, I'm not too convinced
I don't know
yet.
if you can ever trust a shadowy figure. That to me is just like, especially one in a prison, that just doesn't seem to work. But because there's so many options of how to play the game, can you kind of run us through some of your favorite builds? 'Cause I think this is us going up against one of your rivals right now,
sick.
isn't it?
Yep, absolutely. Like Steve mentioned, we call our upgrade trees experiments.
Yeah.
And so we have a total of 115 of those in the game, split up against across 7 categories. A couple of my favorites are the biotech, and mixing that with the electricity or the energy build. Speeds up rates of fire, and then biotech has a great skill called rot, which enables enemies to explode on death.
Nice.
So you can see we're using it right here on his main fire.
Oh, cool. I love an area of effect. That's always helpful.
Yeah, there's also like constant combination of using melee and ranged attacks, isn't there, throughout the gameplay?
There is, and since you don't get to choose which upgrades you get to pick every time, you'll find yourself exploring and finding new ones that you weren't expecting that turn out to be really fun. And so we've had a lot of people start to play different ways just because they stumbled on a really fun build.
Yeah, it's always going to be one of the funny bits. It's like you're going to go, no, I'm going to go use these guns because this is what I want to use. I love them. And then you'll be like, wait, no, that's like the most powerful melee weapon in the game. I'm just going to go melee build or something like that.
Yep.
I like it. So Ben, yeah, you're much more of a corrosive kind of area of effect, rapid fire build. I like that. That's
Absolutely.
cool. I'd probably go for something like that over like a strength build or like a close combat kind of build or whatever. What do you think you would do?
See, I've always been, right, I was like, keep a distance. Like,
Yeah.
I played as like,
Calculated.
yeah, no, I was always like an assault rifle player and like FPSs. I was like, kind of keep a distance, kind of like kite people. But one thing I want to point out here is there is a glowing corpse which you see throughout the game. They pop up in certain locations. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so that's actually your last corpse, exactly where you died on your last run. And he has the exact same build you do. So at the end, once combat's over, you can choose to fight him and get back one of your skills, but at an increased power level. So, but it's always risky, right? Because if you had a really good build before, it might be a hard fight to win. So you got to kind of pick and choose your battles. But it is a way for you to get something back that you had on your last run that you really liked.
Yeah.
No, I can just imagine though. Bex is never going to see the glowing corpse. I know.
That's like the nicest thing you've ever said to me. Oh,
What do you
thanks, Penny. I mean, yeah, the glowing corpse sounds great. I love that element of, it's almost like Soulsy. You get that reward for going back to the same place, and especially in roguelike atmosphere. I love that as well. I mean, we're seeing so many sick-looking visuals here. I can notice some of the symbols from your game's Callisto Protocol and lots of this new art style that we can enjoy as well with our eyeballs, which is great. But what was your philosophy behind this, and like, I guess kind of moving away from Callisto Protocol too?
Right, so we wanted to create something that was different and lean into things that we really enjoy. So we're big fans of comic books, graphic novels, and we also wanted to have more of an irreverent, fun tone to this game. So we gravitated towards this style and look that you see in the game. It's a little bit more vibrant, colorful.
It's gorgeous.
And it allowed us to really experiment and play around with the variety of enemies. I think we have over 34 enemies in the game. So we really wanted to just kind of go all out with the colors and everything. So that really worked well for us, and we think it definitely looks different than the previous game. And the other thing that we really liked about this particular game this time was we partnered with a group called Mutato Musica.
Okay.
And we wanted to create our own unique music for the game. So we came up with this idea for future punk. So the soundtrack is kind of got this arcadey punk kind of vibe going on. And we really enjoy it, so we're pretty excited about that.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah, no, Future Punk is definitely something I think I could get into as well, and I love the art style. But Ben and Steve, like, big thank you for joining us as well. But if you've got any last words for everyone watching about Redacted?
Well, we hope everyone enjoys playing it as much as we enjoyed making it. The team had a great time doing that.
Yeah, and I'd like to say thank you very much for allowing us to reveal the game name today with you. And I want to thank the team at Striking Distance for all the wonderful work they did for this project. Thank you.
Heck yeah. I mean, yeah, thank you for letting us be included in this